age. So, all right, segue, since we were talking about Solo, segue right into the news about Ewan McGregor returning as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a series on Disney Plus. So this could be an interesting discussion, and I do say, because Kelly and I do kind of see eye to eye on so many things. One thing that we do kind of disagree on is the prequels, because I love the prequels. She's coming around on the prequels more so than she used to be, but I don't think you hate them as bad as you used to, and I think The Last Jedi probably made you appreciate them a little more. But I'm pretty sure you love Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I do, yeah. I think he was a great casting choice, and I'm still excited to see his portrayal because I think this could be really well done. And I love Obi-Wan. He's one of my favorite characters. And if there's one thing that I really love from the prequels, I mean, I love a few different things or appreciate a few different things, but I do love Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. I thought that was a great casting choice, and he did a good job. I would have loved to have seen more of him, even more than already was in the prequels. So I'm excited, but also, like you said, I watched your reaction to the announcement, and I'm also cautious because it's not the Star Wars we used to know. It's a new package deal of different ideals and principles and agendas. So
that's the sad state of it, and I can't help but not be excited for the announcement, and for him being back in this role. I don't think any Star Wars fan is not excited based on the announcement, but it's once you get past the announcement and the nostalgia of the announcement, and you start facing the reality of what we've already gotten. We've gotten Leia Poppins. We've gotten Han Solo being a deadbeat dad and a bad husband, and we've gotten Luke Skywalker, who was turned into Jake Skywalker. We don't know what they're going to do to Lando. So we've seen them take the iconic characters that we know and love and completely disrespect them. And that's when I start going, what are they going to do to him? What are they going to do to him? You know, like, what is this going to be? And there's so much with Obi-Wan, all the way from the original trilogy, prequel trilogy, the Clone Wars. This character has been portrayed by, at least in the live or animated, it's been 3 different people now that have portrayed this character, and they've all portrayed him wonderfully. And there's a lot to this character. Oh man, I just don't know. I don't know what to think. I really don't. Again, I'm excited based on the announcement. I'm excited to see McGregor back. We've been screaming at Disney to go, why are you not making an Obi-Wan series or a movie at this point? You've got Ewan McGregor at the perfect age. Well, be careful what you wish for, because now we got it, and now we're like, what are they going to do? So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of potential. What are we going to do? I'm going to have to assume we're going to be into the, post Revenge of the Sith. There's a lot of meat on that bone, and a lot of storytelling that they can get out of that. But I don't know. It's hard for me to say, Kelly. It's hard. I don't know if I had it my way, would I still have this series, or would I would? I gotta say, I'm probably going to regret this, but I think I still would have the series. If I had the choice to say, no, I don't want it because of what they could do, but I want to see Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan. I really do. I want
to see the inception of him learning how to imitate the crate dragon call that scares the Jawas.
Nice.
Yeah, I would love to see him learning how to imitate the crate dragon. I always thought that was so cool that he could do that.
Man, there's so much potential here. Oh, it's so scary. It's so scary, all the opportunities.
I'm worried. Okay, so my prediction for the worst possible outcome would be that they basically just make him into this almost character that I don't even know if I want to say it. Just tries to help the low down and he becomes basically a male feminist that's going around trying to help people everywhere. I'm worried that might be what they do.
No.
I mean, imagine though if it's just like basically him going around and like trying to like uplift everybody else and just putting himself down into this weakened position, and that's horrible. I don't know where that came from. That just came out of my brain. I'm sorry. I apologize if I offended anybody. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, to be completely honest, because my brain is just fogged up at this point.
But this is the reality of Disney's Star Wars and what we have to worry about. It's such a struggle. It's such a struggle.
Really cool, and he could be like almost like a detective agent, like a secret agent, where he's going around and figuring out how things work and infiltrating, Jabba's palace and I don't know, and watching the Sand People go somewhere and seeing that they have this weird primitive alliance with another. I don't know. Mos Eisley. We're gonna find out like why he hates Mos Eisley so much and why it's such a wretched hive of scum and villainy. Because we got a sneak peek in a new one, but I don't know. It could be great or it could be not so great. I don't think it would be awful. I don't know. I think it will have some merit, and I think it will probably be watchable. But I'm just hoping there's none of that same, I don't know, pandering that we got from The Last Jedi. And yeah, well,
the good thing is that we already have so much built-in continuity with this character. Yeah. They can't abandon it that much. You know what I mean? Because we already have so much in the prequel era, the Clone Wars. Then we have, his portrayal in the original trilogy. We even have him in Rebels. There's Star Wars Rebels where Obi-Wan's in there. So there's so much there. Yeah. They can't break him that much. At least I wouldn't imagine they can't break him that much. They've got to stay within the continuity. They have to. Like with Luke. Yeah, I mean, they could go, 30 years has passed. Luke Skywalker, that's their justification for it. Even though it's not a justification, that's their justification to go, 30 years, Luke Skywalker. No, Luke Skywalker would never do that. He would never say these things. He would never do these things. He would never act like that. But they had the freedom to say that because there was this 30 years where, passed. With Obi-Wan, we already know the end game with him. We already know how that all plays out. But this era, there's continuity that you have to stay within. I feel like they can't break him that bad.
Yeah.
But who knows? The mouse can break whoever he wants. And, we just have to sit there and deal with it no matter how mad it makes us. So, but, I think, again, we're kind of both on the same page with this. We're happy with the announcement. One of us is look, you're smarter than me overall, but I'm smarter than you when it comes to the prequels. So no, but one thing about you is you have not watched the Clone Wars all the way through. You've got to watch the Clone Wars.
I know.
I promise you, Kelly. I promise you. I'll buy the Clone Wars for you so you can watch it.
Are they still on Netflix or they're not?
They're not. I'm pretty sure
I was watching them on Netflix for a while. I would pick and choose the episodes I watched, but I never went all the way through.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be on Disney Plus because they're going to bring Clone Wars Season 7 back in February. So pretty sure they're going to launch it on there, but I'll buy it for you if you want. I'm serious because it really does. Now, again, I always have to preface this. No movie should need outside material to make it better. So I'm not saying that it makes the prequels inherently better movies per se, but it's just like with your experience, if you watch the Clone Wars all the way through all 5 seasons, it substantially makes the prequels feel better. It expands the universe. It expands upon Anakin's character. It expands upon Obi-Wan and Anakin's relationship, and the whole Ahsoka element to Anakin fundamentally flushes that character out and shows you his struggle within the dark side. That is the Anakin we always wanted, is the one we see in the Clone Wars. And then you go back and watch it, and yeah, I mean, there's kind of this kind of shock to it. It's like, God, Hayden Christensen, but it still does make Anakin an even better character. Matt Lanter did such a great job in the Clone Wars, and if you look up Matt Lanter, my God, Matt Lanter, he's this really good-looking dude who looks just like what Anakin would look like, and he's like probably in his, I don't know how old the guy is. He could play Anakin right now. Like he's so good in the series. So, but yeah, it does really it will make you appreciate the prequels even more, I think. So I'm anxious to get your opinion. I mean, it's 5 seasons, 22 episodes. See, they're only like 22-minute episodes.
Yeah,
But
they're
22.
short. They're short and they're fun from what I
Yes.
remember. So, and I've heard that, and originally that's what my friend told me when he got me to start watching it, was you will appreciate the prequels more because it fleshes out the characters, it fleshes out the stories. My problem with the prequels, though, is never so much the characters as the execution. That was always my big problem, was like all the special effects everywhere, to the point where, and all the little details, like I didn't need all the little details of the Senate and the midichlorians and all these little extra things, because I felt like what I loved about Star Wars was the story and the people that it was happening to, and and the turn of events and the conflicts and the arcs and all that. So, but I also can see the merit of the prequels now more than ever, because of The Last Jedi, and because of so many of the fans that I have interacted with, and seeing where they're coming from now in terms of liking the prequel, because it does have heart and it does have soul. And regardless of whether I'm not a fan of the execution of it, doesn't mean something to people. But with The Last Jedi, it's just like, where is the heart? Where is the soul? What is it anything other than just people trying to force feed us, new characters because they felt like the pre-existing characters weren't good enough for today's social standards? It's just hollow. It just feels hollow. So
you nailed it though, with even if you're not the biggest fan of the prequels, they do have heart, and you can feel that heart, and they do have a coherent story. I've never argued against the execution argument, because the execution is the problem in the prequels, and I think anybody can look at that objectively and say, yeah, well, I enjoy it. I enjoy the characters. I enjoy being in that universe and in that era, and I enjoy the story being told. The execution of the story, it's got some problems. Now, I say that's definitely the case for the Phantom Menace. I always have to say it's not Fandom Menace, the Phantom Menace, and Attack of the Clones. Definitely massive execution problems. I don't think there's very many execution problems in Revenge of the Sith. There's a couple, and all that. Losing the will to live, like what, so I get it. But overall, I love Revenge of the Sith. This is my second favorite Star Wars movie. But I will, with the other two, there's some points you're like, what are you doing, George? What are you doing? And funny enough, in the Clone Wars, Jar Jar is Representative Binks in the Clone Wars. He's actually in politics, and it's cringe. It's very cringe. I was listening one time, I think it was Christian Harloff from Collider said this, and I believe Christian, and it was just a hunch of his, but you going on these great stories and arcs in the Clone Wars, and Jar Jar is hardly even in it. And then there's just out of left field, suddenly there's this Jar Jar centric episode, and Christian Harloff goes, I think George was just sitting around going, hey, throw Jar Jar in there just to piss him off, because it's how it feels. It's like, why is he doing this?
Yeah.
But when they reference him as Representative Binks, and I'm like, God, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? There's just one episode, because you have 5 full seasons, and then you have the Lost episodes that was released on Netflix years after they had canceled it. And in those Lost episodes, they're kind of all over the place. And there's this one episode with Mace Windu and Jar Jar. It is objectively the worst episode ever of the Clone Wars. I
got excited when you said Mace Windu, but then you said Mace Windu and Jar Jar.
It's so bad. No. It's so bad. But overall, yes, I love the Clone Wars. Honestly, the Clone Wars is probably my favorite thing I've ever seen, ever in Star Wars. I mean, that's how much I love it. Now, the first 2 seasons are kind of, they're okay, hit or miss. Ahsoka's really not the greatest character in the first season. Second season, she starts coming around. Seasons 3, 4, and 5, though, are phenomenal. Unbelievable. Ahsoka really develops in seasons 3, 4, and then by the end of 5 is where Ahsoka's really just kind of goes to the next level. And so then there's carryover from that into Star Wars Rebels, and there's a lot there. I would say if you as a Star Wars fan are definitely, you're hurt by where we're at with Star Wars, and you're missing where everything was, I think watching the Clone Wars and Rebels would definitely be good therapy for you. I really
Okay.
so.
I could use some Star Wars therapy because it's, not that it defines my life or anything. I have a life outside of Star Wars, obviously, but I miss that because it's always something that I've felt connected to. And there are still times when I'm like out hiking or I'm at the beach and I'm like, oh, it feels like the Star Wars universe right now when I like look up at the moon or something. And I always loved that feeling of feeling small and feeling like there was so much more out there. And I would get that feeling as a kid sometimes when I'd be at the beach and I'd turn to my mom and I'd be like, it feels like Star Wars right now. And she never really cared about Star Wars, but she always appreciated that I had this sense of wonder of feeling like there's so much more out there and there's so much more to life and existence than what we feel as these tiny little beings walking around a singular planet in the vast expanding universe. And that's what I loved about Star Wars. That's still what I love about Star Wars, the Star Wars that I love, which is not the new Star Wars, but I would love to have that feeling again because I do miss it and I do feel like it is part of who I am. It doesn't define me. I don't want to get all hyperbolic about Star Wars, but it definitely has a lot to do with with how I feel and how I enjoy art and life and culture and people. And Star Wars has a lot to say. I think that a lot of people kind of, if they don't enjoy Star Wars that same way, they tend to overlook. And I think that's probably the biggest problem with the people that have taken over the creative process now for Disney and Star Wars is that they didn't really give it the depth that I think it deserved, because I think there's more to it than people readily think about. And I think that's why some people do get so connected to it so deeply. It's that sense of wonder. It's that sense of existential anxiety that Luke Skywalker had when he felt like he wasn't doing anything and there was so much more for him and he could be a part of something. And it's a beautiful story, and I still feel connected to it. But it's a weird time to navigate as a Star Wars fan. That's for sure. Unless you're just blindly accepting everything Star Wars and anything with a Star Wars label on it, whether it's a dollar store toothbrush with clone troopers on it or the Rise of Skywalker, everything's great because it's Star Wars. I just can't get behind that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I could say though, I feel like I could hear the pain that you're in with Star Wars right now. You've kind of changed your tune a little bit. Like you used to say it was everything to you.
I know. Well,
I think that's what Disney's done to you.
Oh no. Oh my God. I think you're right, Jeremy. It's so scary. But yeah, I mean,
Because you used to say like it meant everything. It was like defined you as a person. And now and again, you're right to do that because look what they've done. I don't want to make you get all upset, but you're
right. You're calling me out because I didn't even realize my whole tone shifted. But now that you're saying it, I think you're right. I'm scared. You know what it is more than anything?
Scared to get hurt again.
I'm scared to get hurt again. It was like the I don't know, the monster under the bed that I was convinced wasn't there, but it's might still be there. I don't know. Yep. That's really bad metaphor, but
no,
yeah,
but
I do feel connected to it, but I also feel a sense of, well, I gotta protect my pride.
It's not George anymore. It's a I mean, I'll say what I always say. It's a social propaganda machine now. It's not about the family. It's not about the universe. It's not about fathers and sons. Exactly what George says it is. It's about family and fathers and sons, and what you said about Luke Skywalker. Knowing that there's something bigger out there for him, and going on that journey and having that bravery and having that sense of wonder. It's no longer about that anymore. It's about a social agenda, and that's what sucks. It really does suck, and it pisses me off. It really does. And it stuck out to me because I'm like, I know Kelly very well. And when I heard you say, I was like, man, she doesn't even realize that it's gotten her so far off where she was as a Star Wars fan. So
you're right. It's true. It's and I don't think it's that it's not there anymore for me. It's that I'm gun shy. I'm just gun shy about it because What's the saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame
Yeah.
on me.
Well, don't do the George W. Bush one. The one.
Oh no, we don't get fooled again. Fool me once.
Fool me, get fooled again. Like it's just so bad. It's so bad.
It's so great though. It's so deep. I love that. That's one of my favorite clips. Yeah, so that's how I feel. I'm just gonna, channel my inner George W. And I feel like I'm gonna get fooled again by the Star Wars machine, and I'm scared, and I don't want to let it in as much as I do, and I love it, and I feel it in my heart. And I think I said this in one of my videos, my early awkward ranting videos, was like Star Wars.
Awkward? You? Not you.
Awkward, I know. It's yeah. So it was injected into my soul stream. I think I said that about Star Wars. When I first saw it as a kid, I think I said something along the lines of it was injected into my soul stream. And I still feel that, but now I feel like a hollow husk of myself loving Star Wars because there's like this separation now.
Yeah,
and
no, I hear you on that. I do. I tell you what, I'm going to buy you Clone Wars digitally.
Okay.
I'm serious. I'm buying the whole series for you, and you can put it on your Google Play account. I want you to watch it. I think it'll make you feel better. It'll bring you back. To a better place with Star Wars after you watch the Clone Wars in its entirety, and I can't wait. And what we'll do, since this will be on the channel, Kelly and I will do a kind of a retro review of the Clone Wars after she watches it. We'll have a kind of a spoiler discussion about it all, because I'm actually just started to rewatch it again, because season 7 is going to release in February or whatever on Disney Plus. So obviously Ahsoka being my favorite character, and I love the Clone Wars so much, I can't wait to watch, So, I'm doing that. I'm serious. So I'm going to
do Okay. I'm excited. Okay. That'll be good. Yeah. I think I need that. You're right.
Yep. So, so that's going to wrap it up.